Something is unraveling deep in the heart of Texas. A political firestorm, intense, personal, and dangerously unpredictable, is threatening to rip through the highest levels of state leadership. What started as a war of words has become a full-blown reckoning, not just for two politicians, but for the soul of Texas itself. At the center of it all, Governor Greg Abbott and freshman Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Their feud, it's no longer just a Texas issue, it's gone national. And maybe, just maybe, it's about something even bigger. It began on a hot Tuesday morning in Austin. Governor Abbott called a surprise press conference. No leaks, no briefings, just a cryptic message, "Be there, 10 sharp." And then, the bombshell. "We have credible evidence," he said slowly, "that Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett used campaign and PAC funds to support extremist protests, some of which interfered with law enforcement here in Texas." Boom. Silence. No documents, no follow-up, just that. And it was broadcast, live, on every major network. Social media went nuclear. Hashtag Crockett Chaos was trending in under an hour. Conservative pundits called Abbott brave, patriotic, unflinching. The left? They saw something else. A smear job, a setup, a warning shot. Just 18 hours later, Crockett answered back. From a church in South Dallas, pulpit, full crowd, local press, national cameras. She didn't flinch. Greg Abbott is a coward hiding behind baseless accusations. If he thinks he can silence me or scare my community, he's got another thing coming. I've faced worse, and I'm still standing. The crowd erupted. What started as a rebuttal became a rally, a movement. Meanwhile, the media machine kicked into full gear. Fox News, Crockett's radical money trail, MSNBC, is Abbott targeting black leadership? CNN pressed for evidence. Abbott's team offered none, just vague talk about internal reviews. No paper, no photos, no proof. Then, things got messier. An anonymous right-wing blog posted a batch of screenshots. They claimed to show texts between a Crockett staffer and a protest group. Talk of mobilizing near a state police compound. Code words, tactical mentions. But the screenshots? Grainy, strange fonts, inconsistent timestamps. Still, they spread. And with them, a new theory. Operation Nightlight. The claim that Jasmine Crockett was secretly tied to a grassroots movement built to stir unrest in red states, to cause chaos, to bring down conservative governments from the inside out. No proof, no whistleblowers, just shadows, and one so-called former aide, face blurred, voice distorted, on a sketchy live stream. Mainstream media ignored it, and just when it felt like the dust was settling, it wasn't, not even close. Because the story didn't end with the fact check. It only evolved. Suddenly, attention turned to a name, quietly buried in the leaked memo from Abbott's office. Nolan Wexler. Not a household name, but in Texas politics, a known operative. Wexler is a strategist, former political fixer, linked to past campaigns involving misinformation, whisper networks, and what insiders call narrative weaponization. Turns out, Wexler was present in 2 of the governor's closed-door meetings. He wasn't on the official logs, but cell phone triangulation, uncovered by local journalists, placed him inside the Capitol Annex the day the memo was finalized. Why was a known political hitman meeting with the governor right before an unverified smear against a sitting congresswoman? That question hit the Sunday shows. Short pause. Meet the new players. And then came the names behind the money. Investigative reporters traced campaign donations from 3 lobbying groups directly connected to the new prison bill. All of them made maxed-out contributions, not just to Abbott, but to a freshly created PAC called Safe Texas Tomorrow. The PAC launched ad campaigns within days of the Crockett controversy. The message? Order, stability, security, vote to protect Texas. The visuals? Sirens, smoke, protest footage, and a silhouette that looked a lot like Jasmine Crockett. No name, no context, just implication, classic political shadow play. Short breath. The fallout intensifies. Crockett's legal team hit back hard with a cease and desist and a public complaint to the FEC. The charge? Coordinated disinformation between state officials and political operatives. Abbott's office called it a baseless distraction. But former DOJ ethics attorneys, they used another phrase, covert election interference. And just like that, federal regulators took interest. So did the House Oversight Committee. Jamie Raskin filed a request. The Texas AG stayed silent, but the press wasn't. The public responds. Polling began to shift. Among independents under 35, Abbott dropped 9 points. Among black women voters in Texas, Crockett's support rose 24%. By August, her name appeared in a Data for Progress survey as a potential 2028 VP contender. Why? Because she didn't flinch. The left rallied. The right doubled down. Billboards appeared across rural Texas. Keep Texas strong. Say no to radical agendas. Hashtag wars reignited. Stand with Abbott began trending. Texas became ground zero, not just in a political feud, but in a narrative war. A new twist. Cyber infiltration. Cybersecurity watchdogs dropped a bombshell. The strategy? Divide. Distract. Destabilize. The DHS quietly launched an investigation. Suddenly, this wasn't just about Texas. It was a national security concern. Behind closed doors. Sources say the White House is watching, not just the politics, but what this means for 2026 and 2028. There's talk of hearings, talk of subpoenas, talk that Abbott might be backing away from the Crockett narrative behind the scenes. But Crockett? She's not done. The speech. Late August, Civil Rights Summit, Atlanta, a packed room, dozens of cameras, and one moment that changed everything. Crockett stood still, calm, composed, not angry, just ready. This is bigger than me. It's about a system that labels truth as dangerous and dissent as terrorism. They can smear me, they can surveil me, but they will never silence me. The room erupted. Some called it her Obama 2004 moment. So now what? Now we're in the aftermath, but it doesn't feel like closure. It feels like the beginning of Act 2. The leaks continue, the investigations begin, and both Crockett and Abbott are playing for something much bigger. This isn't just a headline, it's a warning shot, a case study, in power, in perception, in who owns the narrative and who gets buried by it. One state, two politicians, a nation watching. Because what happened in Texas may soon happen everywhere. To be continued. And if you want to be there when it does, subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. Because this story, it's just getting started.